Canelo Alvarez and Charlo. Man, this is going to be a real interesting one. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this fight. It's not getting the attention it deserves. I think this is probably one of the greatest matchups that, we're going to see in a while. Just because Charlo, despite being, no, I wouldn't even say a natural 54-pounder, but I think he's more of a 160-pound fighter. Going up to fight Canelo at 168 pounds, there's a lot on the line for this fight. I feel like Charlo has so much to gain and honestly little to lose. I think a lot of people are counting him out in this fight, and I think people are going to be surprised with the performance that he puts on. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to go with Canelo. I think that despite Father Time, despite the way that Canelo's been aging, not looking his best. I'm not talking about, comparing Charlo, his age to Canelo's. I'm not comparing that. I'm just saying, the way that Canelo's aging. Based on his last few fights, it hasn't been the Canelo Alvarez that we've grown to see as, that Mexican warrior, that real champion. I feel like he's definitely on the back end of his career, and if there's a time for Jermell to go get him, it's now. But I'm still going to pick Canelo just based off of, statistically in the book, on paper, I think Canelo wins this fight. I think that it's going to be a very competitive fight. We know that Canelo has a tendency to gas out in the later rounds, at least in his more recent performances. I think that could be a big issue. But Charlo also, he's had his moments where, he's been a little bit chinny. And I've said it before, I think that the only way Jermell wins this fight is, well, I think he can pull off a decision, but he would have to knock out Canelo, and that's just like sounds crazy to just even say the possibility of Canelo getting knocked out. Now, Canelo's a tremendous fighter. He's a great fighter. I don't think I put him in the category with guys like Floyd or Manny. Just in this generation, I think he's just a few steps behind in terms of, legend status. I know he has a great resume. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just talking about, specimen in terms of there being only one breed of a fighter, and just based off how dynamic a fighter is, I think it's got to be like Manny, Floyd, and just under is Canelo, and then maybe in the middle is a guy like Terrence Crawford. After that kind of performance, just in terms of how talented and just it's so natural to be such a intuitive fighter, to be so intelligent, so quick. I think that, Terrence might even be a little bit ahead of Canelo, but Canelo's still like in great company. You know what I mean? I always liked watching Canelo fight because he always figures a guy out. Not always. There are guys like Floyd, exceptions, Bivol, and I don't really like to count Bivol as much. I understand he lost the fight, and I just naturally think that like going up in weight against a guy that was way bigger, the odds were stacked against him anyways, even though I still expected him to pull off a decision. It just wasn't the best performance from Canelo, as a whole. But, losing to Floyd Mayweather, no shame in that. But just against a guy like Charlo, I think he's going to be more motivated. I think Canelo gets motivated when the fans from the United States get excited for a fight. I think that when they start talking about, Charlo might be a problem for Canelo. When Canelo hears that, he might up his game a little bit, as opposed to, when Bivol was fighting him, people within the sport were saying, this is going to be a close fight. Bivol, might be able to pull this off. I actually picked Bivol, but I think it's a different energy when it's an American fighter. I just feel that way because I feel like you're more aware of your surroundings in America, and you can hear those fans, potentially counting you out, saying this, saying that. And I think Canelo's going to be more motivated than ever for this fight. Obviously, he has a tremendous fan base, and I know that he's going to want to put on for them. If you guys have been watching the All Accesses on Showtime, they're doing a good job of promoting the fight and showing, the human side of Canelo with his family, stuff along those lines. And then you have a guy like Jermell who has so much to prove, has gone through a lot himself. And it makes for a great narrative for the fight. But just as far as the fight itself is concerned, I'm going to go with Canelo. I understand, like I said before, that his performances haven't been the best. I just think at this point in his career, he still has enough. He has what it takes still to overcome the storm that is going to be Charlo. I understand Jermell has that big right hand. I'm just not sure against a guy like Canelo, how effective it'll be when, especially when Canelo starts walking you down, applying that pressure. You know, it's a different weight class. Coming up to 68, even if he walks around that weight class, it's different when you get up there. And Canelo's he's still a big dude. He may be smaller, the shorter fighter, but he's still a big guy in there, in that ring. You know, he knows how to put that pressure on you, and is Jermell going to be able to handle that? I think that, you know, in the later rounds, Jermell might fall to the pressure a little bit, because it's a lot to deal with when you're fighting a guy like Canelo. Despite the past performances, I'm telling you, I think we're going to see a good performance from Canelo, a solid, you know, B+, A- performance from him, and he's going to look really good, better than, you know, his last performances. So I'm going to go with Canelo by a stoppage win. I'm not saying that to, you know, hate on Jermell. I just think on paper, that's my, you know, official prediction for the fight, how it plays out. I think that it starts off competitive. You know, both guys grab a few rounds, a few swing rounds, a few rounds that are hard to score, but I think it's not going to matter in the end, because it's going to be competitive for as long as it lasts. But I don't think this fight goes the distance. I'm going to go with Canelo by stoppage. I think the pressure is going to be too much. He's gonna find that chin. I'm telling you. As good as Jermell is, I think Canelo's just one of those all-time greats for sure, and he's accomplished a lot, and this win against Charlo will put him in good position to, you know, maybe fight David Benavidez next. That's the fight we've all been asking for. Maybe Terrence Crawford. That's a fight that I personally really want to see, Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. We're, you know, only about a week away from the showdown between Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez, September 30th. Mark your calendars. We're about a week out, so let me know in the comments what you guys think, your predictions for this fight. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. That's going to do it for another Naz Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.